When I think dungeon crawling games, I think of things like Diablo, Darkest Dungeon, Minecraft, oddly enough. You know, and there have been lots of games that have tried to do like the randomly generated dungeon crawling soiree, like Diablo, and some have done it well, and some have done it, quite frankly, not so well. Pardon. Delver is not one of those games. Delver is a fantastic artistic romp through an interesting mix of 3D environments and 2D pixelized characters, where you play an adventurer who is sort of caught in a perpetual loop, where you're trying to like go into this dungeon and fight its monsters and exploit its secrets. You have some basic stats. You have health, you have defense, you have attack, you have magic and speed and agility. You know, and so health is health. Magic means you do more damage with magic weapons. Attack means you do more damage with physical weapons. Agility means you swing your weapons you swing your weapons and you basically attack faster. And speed means you move faster. Defense means you take a hit better. You know, relatively straightforward stuff. You know, but you pick one of the random of those three when you level up. How do you level up? Well, you level up by killing monsters in the dungeon. And you basically go through different levels to get to a final boss and beat him, and then you can have, and it's a really, really interesting little concept. It's a bog standard roguelike game, but the reason why I'm giving it really more of a good grade out of amazing is, quite frankly, because it's so damn charming. The art style is to die for. It's very witty and funny, and there's a lot of little notes that have a lot of bite and lore in them. The magic system is interesting. You sort of don't feel attached to any weapons because you swap them out like willy-nilly. And normally that doesn't feel important, but it's like there's so many very different types of armor and weapons and magicka in magic wands to play around with that you sort of don't really want to like get attached to anything because you want to see what else is new, and it sort of feels really interesting each run. You know, there's pros and cons to every weapon. There's pros and cons to every piece of magic. You know, like it is a fantastic, cheap little game that I think is worth your time. Delver is one of my favorite roguelikes, period. And I highly, highly encourage anybody to go play it. It also, if you're on Steam, has the Steam Workshop, and people have been making mods for it for damn near a year and a half at this point. So I highly encourage anybody who's interested in roguelikes. They like dungeon crawlers, and maybe they're looking for a first-person dungeon crawler that's like it's a first-person dungeon crawling roguelike. That's with pixel art. It's fantastic, and the animation, despite being pixel art, is sublime and intricate. You know, I highly recommend going to go play this game. It's a fantastic romp and a great use of your time, in my personal opinion. That's it. That's the review.